See, a lot of men think they need designer brands, jewelry, or a big budget to look polished and put together. That's not true. High value men are defined by discipline, cleanliness, simplicity, and intentionality, not price tags. You can look like a king on any budget if you understand the basics. Here's how to build a high value appearance without draining your wallet. Prioritize grooming before clothing. This is the highest value secret. Clean grooming instantly makes you look more confident, more disciplined, more attractive, more put together. High value grooming includes regular haircuts, trimmed beards or clean shaven, clean nails, moisturized skin, fresh breath, light masculine fragrance. You can wear a $20 t-shirt and still look like a millionaire if your grooming is sharp. Wear solid neutrals. These always look expensive. Black, white, olive, tan, gray, navy, cream. These colors make you look clean, hide cheap fabric, pair well together, create a polished vibe, never go out of style. Patterns age fast, neutrals stay timeless. A simple neutral wardrobe equal high value with minimal effort. A $30 pair of pants that fit you well will always look better than $300 jeans, okay? Learn these rules. Clothing should not be baggy. Your pants should not sag. Okay. Shoulders should align. Sleeves should not swallow your hands. Pants should not stack too much at the bottom, right? Children, are looking, and you want to present yourself in the right way, right? Shirts should frame your chest, not drown it. A tailor can make cheap clothes look expensive, and most adjustments cost between $10 and $20. So if you are someone who, for whatever reasons, you've had to downsize your life, you have decided to go back to school, or you're just trying to figure things out on your terms, right? It doesn't mean that you have to look like a bum if you're living on a budget or if you're going through some financial hardships, right? It's really about the mindset. So we will share these practical insights, but ultimately it comes down to the mindset. So foundationally, your identity, right? Because it doesn't matter what you put on, okay? What you put on, what you have should have in no way, in no form influence your identity as an individual who is loved by God, who is actively in a relationship with God, who desires the will of God, whatever that may be, right? You know that your source, right? You know that the foundation of your identity comes as a result of an awareness. An awareness of what? An awareness of your purpose, okay? What does that purpose entails, okay? So for whatever reasons, there's been this, belief that, if you are prioritizing wellness, if you are making a decision to take, especially as men, to take better care of your bodies, right? Whether that's going for a massage, whether that's going for a facial, whether that's doing whatever it is that you need to do to preserve the one body that you've been given, you'll find that that most times people may interpret that as you being narcissistic or you being, bougie, right? That is something culturally that we know when you are a black person who wants a better quality of life, right? You're often termed bougie, okay? And this may relate to other groups, but it's interesting that it's all the enemy, right? It's interesting how when you want something better out of life, when you want more out of life than those around you, okay? When you are like the Joseph or the Joshuas of your family, and from out the womb, you've been going through these traumatic, I did a post on childhood trauma and how it affects you in adulthood, right? So when you've been someone who you've always been different, you've always known that there was more to life than this neighborhood, than these people, okay? You already had that seed in you, okay? You already have that awareness. It's just coming into the final revelation as Moses did in his situation with the burning bush. He had always heard about the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He's always heard about the God of the Israelites, but to encounter him firsthand, that was a whole nother experience. And so I always say, even though my values and what I believe is rooted in the Holy Scriptures, I always tell people at the end of the day what works for you, because no one could have told me before my personal encounter with God. No one could have convinced me that Jesus existed, okay, or that Jesus is the Son of God, okay. Now, I had an awareness of God, quote unquote, but as succinct and as well defined as I know my God to be, that wasn't the case. And so I know how important it is to have a first-hand experience. I know how impactful it is to be able to express something that no words can express, because you have to experience it to know it. So that's what it comes down to when it comes to beliefs. Whatever works for you. I find that, when you don't have to convince someone to follow you, okay? You don't have to convince people to support you. I believe you present yourself, you present whatever it is that you're offering, and you let the people choose if they want to subscribe, if they want to buy, if they want to support, right? Anything other than that is manipulation. Anything other than that is deception. And so you'll find that when you are deciding to do things God's way, there's always going to be a lot of resistance and a lot of temptation, resistance, a lot of naysayers, and just the environment that essentially is trying to make you question what God already gave to you as a seed, as a child, and oftentimes these desires and these hopes and dreams are deeply buried because of the trauma, because of the wounds that are yet to be healed. With that being said, we're going to cut it off here. Go ahead, check out clglifestyle.com. We have a plethora of blogs available to you from community development, leadership, mindset, identity, purpose,